Welcome to July 8th, 2022, the first Friday for Catalina Rotary Club of the new Rotary year. I'd like, while we don't have any visiting Rotarians in the room today, we have an odd hyphenated member guest, because we are able to welcome our district governor, Anita McDonald, and our assistant governor, Bob Grady. And we do have a guest in the house that Al Chesser wanted me to make special mention of and allow him to introduce to everyone again. Welcome back. I have a couple of announcements. One, today is a Zoom meeting. Our next Zoom meeting will be Friday, July 22nd. We will be here next week, but we will not be Zooming. If you have a presentation or need that, we will have the computers available for that. The other news I have is probably one of the most fastidious members of our club when it came to taking precautions against COVID has come down with COVID. Steve Pender is down with COVID. We hope it is mild, and we hope he will be back next week, but until he tests negative, I'm not sure what this did to his East Coast vacation. I don't even know if he was able to take it. So if you want to send him an email and tell him he's in your thoughts, that would be great. And now we come to one of my favorite parts of the program, Queen of Hearts. And Pablo is here.
Well, we don't have a winner this quite yet. Hold on. Like 1 minute.
We need that ticking clock from Jeopardy.
While we're waiting, Heroin, hello? Can everyone hear me? While we're waiting for a winner, we got up to 4,065. So it's getting up there. So please buy your tickets. Let me see who won. I think we just got, give me a moment. Okay. And the winner for this week's Queen of Hearts is Arturo. Which we're all happy that it's not President Andy. He will win next week, though. After this, we're going to be down to 23 cards. Maybe.
Look him over.
Even if he draws the Queen of Hearts, he doesn't really win. It keeps going.
New rules.
New rules. That might be it. Is that it? Oh, it's a heart. The 6 of Hearts. All right. I'll be here next week taking, we'll have an online thing, so buy them online, or you can buy it up front during our Rotary meeting. Till next time, adios.
Thank you, Pablo. And now to kick off our year as our first Sergeant at Arms, we're going to bring back that darling of Catalina Rotary, Jimmy Munoz-Cano.
Darling, I feel like I should be entitled to flowers at least. Red carpet, the works. Well, it's good to see everyone again here today under such joyful circumstances under our new president here. I'm really excited. Well, for selfish reasons, I'm excited, but also I'm really excited just what Andy's going to do for us this year. So hold on tight. It's going to be a great year. As Sergeant here, I'm going to get started with our typical protocol, but in his benevolent mercy, Andy has here when he called and said, hey, I need a sergeant. I was like, oh, great. I'm going to do my best to get some money out of everyone. And so then, as you'll see here in a moment, I don't know how well I'm going to do here, Andy, because one of the things that I was going to do is just a little bit of test for everyone. And so the thought was, if your table doesn't get it right, then you'd have to chip in a little bit. And I have an excellent can woman today. Liz is going to be picking up the shekels. And so I was going to test everyone on the new Rotary year. And so well, my first question was going to be, who's this year's RI president? Yay! Good. So I figured it would be a good occasion to be able to inform while raise some funds. So I guess I'm doing neither because Andy already informed, and I don't know how many funds there's going to be here, but we're not done yet. And so who can tell me, or I'll open it up to how do I put this? If you don't know this, you need to really be more observant, maybe even leave, Al. That would be a good suggestion. Yeah. And so if you don't know this, Liz will be happy to take your money. But what is this year's Rotary theme? Scouts honor. Well, it's Imagine. Okay. All right. So lo and behold, Andy was nice enough to get pins with everyone. So and let me see here. I think the back table, I'm going to exclude you all because I think you already picked up on it. But one thing that wasn't stated on there, but if you're observing, you would have picked up on it. So where is our president, RI president, from? That middle table is not raising hands here, so I'm going to ignore you all and desperately see anyone at the middle table know where she is from. I know you know. I'm trying to raise money so they don't. Oh, you told me.
Vancouver.
That is not correct, Frank. If you wouldn't mind, you're close. You're close, but Liz is right behind you there. Yeah, close. Geography lesson here for Anita. Well, Al, go ahead and tell us where she's from.
Canada.
Well, it was Canada. Windsor, Ontario, Canada. That is correct. Yeah, so the back table was very observant that they noticed that there was a dropping of the process instead of process. That was in there. And there was also a slight boot thrown in there as well. So that's right. You can tell how she spelled it. Right. Yeah. That is a good point. I tell my wife all the time. I wouldn't have picked any of this up, by the way, if Marianne, my wife, wasn't Canadian. So I'd be with you middle table. So anyway, so I think we kind of know the basics here. Just for FYI, more so than anything else, a couple of project focuses. Foci? How does that work? Yeah, foci? Yeah. Foci? So this one, I'm not going to find anyone for it, but just I thought it'd be good to spread the word and kind of see what she's doing. And so she is going to, throughout the year, going to be focusing on different projects around the world. And some of them will include the vital role of women health workers in an efforts to end polio in Pakistan, a day in the life of a community health worker helping to reduce malaria in Zambia. That might also be a Canadian thing. I don't know. The efforts of 600 Rotary clubs to improve education for underserved students in Guatemala, and a few other things here. But obviously, health is a big focus on what she's doing. As you can tell, she's very energetic. So stay on the loop with Rotary's website, RI, and make sure to read that magazine, because I'm sure there's going to be fines at some point down the road. So speaking of fines, I have a confession to make. So as many of you recall, while I was up here most recently, and probably for the several weeks, if not maybe a couple of months. So I stood up here and I asked all of you, please register for Anita's induction and all the festivities that are coming along with it. And so we had a good showing. I don't know if there's a raising of the hands for all those that joined. Great. So it was a good showing. And so I was able to get to the what do we call it? The reception on Friday. I showed up and I saw Andy and Pam walking in, and I saw Kirk, and then I get to the registration desk and I say, well, Jimmy Munoz-Cano, I'm here. And I got a blank stare. I forgot to register for the event. So after all that pleading and asking and begging to register for the event, I forgot. So Liz, I've got $1 for you. So, well, yeah, that's all there is, actually. I stopped at an intersection and asked one of the panhandlers for one, because I didn't have one on the way here. Right. Okay, great. Well, we'll get things moving. I don't want to delay the meeting here because I know Andy has a lot of good things to inform us about today. So I'm just going to, again, you kind of cut me off at the knees here. Any pins and badges? Anyone that doesn't have their pin today? And if you don't have it, you're going to get fined double because, yeah, you just need to look down and put it on. So, but let's, any birthdays and anniversaries? Or let's start with birthdays. Any birthdays that we want to celebrate here? I know Tony back there, you were just telling us about that. So tell us about your great.
Yeah, another certain amount of sun. A lot to be happy about. I got my cast off last week. Thank you. Got my cast off last week. Had a birthday. Important fun things happening with the band. So yes, leg up. Who's treasurer? Who do I look at and say, bill me? Bill me. Okay.
Assistant to the.
But yeah, I'll go a leg up in honor of my birthday and all that other stuff.
All right. Anyone else? Anyone else? All right, there we go. Is it the truth there? Didn't want to put any pressure on you, Em, but
Well, last Saturday was my birthday, and it was the big one. I never thought I'd live to be this old, but anyway, I'm here, and I'm grateful to be the big 7-0 and to be a member of this club since 1989.
Wow.
And the decades just fly by when you just see people's kids that were this big visiting meetings, are now graduating college and bringing their families and things like that. So I'm just grateful to be here, and I'll put something in the can.
thank you, Em. Happy birthday to you. All right. Any other birthdays that I might have missed? All right. How about anniversaries? I know there's 2 / well, go ahead, Doris. I see your hand.
I will do a leg up.
Wow.
I've been married 5 years now. That's a joke. Oh.
That was good. So that's later this month, right? So we all witnessed. Doris has already pitched in. Any other anniversaries that might have happened on June 26th? Oh, you paid last time. Oh, okay. All right. My apologies. I was wearing a different hat at that point. I don't have the memory there. So Well, congratulations to you all the same, Al and Sharon. All right. And so with that, I will open it up to any happy bucks. I know that there was some Sharon, you kind of mentioned there that you just got back from somewhere. We didn't get into it there, but sounds like there was a trip. So any happy bucks anybody wants to share? Yeah, Matt.
Yeah, I was instructed by my wife, Edie, who went to the change of gavel with me and enjoyed it so much. She said, offer up a fine, pay some happy bucks on my behalf. She particularly enjoyed meeting and sitting next to Amanda Sandoval and sitting across the table from Gail Peacock and chatting with her. So on Edie's behalf, thank you for a great time at the Cafe a la carte.
That was great. Sharon?
Al and I enjoyed 6 days in incredibly cool Pine Top. I forgot what, 75, 76 feels like with rain every day. It was glorious. So gladly put a happy buck in.
Great.
I'll do a happy buck because what? Oh, go. Okay. I will do a happy buck because my dear daughter, who I let her borrow my car to cross country in because hers had 100,000 miles on it, decided to crash my 2017 20,000 mile Subaru. But the happy buck is they are giving us full price back on the Subaru. And I have no clue why, but I'm not going to tell them or ask them.
Good on you. Hopefully your daughter's all right. Oh.
Okay. Well, needless to say, I think I'm happy. I'm now I'm the district governor. I just really wanted to express my appreciation to the club for all of the support. I mean, all the way through to the day and at the installation, and all of you being there. It just meant so much to me. And you got to see all those little ones running around, and some of them you remember when they were small as well. But so I'm going to go leg up for that. And then I was going to cover your fine too, because I thought, well, really, I have to give it to him. I mean, every week I was here, I don't think any other governor enjoyed that kind of advertisement prior to what's coming up. And, I think it was like January he started. And so I'll have to go additional to your fine, but got you covered, Jimmy.
Well, thank you, Anita.
I sure appreciate it. And thank you all so very much.
It was a fun event. We got Kirk over here, and I think you got a little bit of time there.
So I saw a fantastic baseball game at Wrigley Field a couple of weeks ago. The Cubs beat Atlanta.
Ooh, that's a double fine.
A short sacrifice fly slid under the tag. But what I'm giving money for is I'm going to my favorite place in the world other than Tucson for the next 2.5 weeks, Chautauqua, New York, which I like even more than baseball.
Wow. Oh, wait, Doris is double dipping. Triple dipping.
I guess I should give another happy buck because nobody was hurt in the car wreck.
You got the priorities right, I think, Doris. You're good. Yeah.
I'll do a leg up because I just got back from vacation. Took our family on a once-in-a-life trip to Italy again.
Wow.
It was a lot of fun. Yes. In the water, in the sun, walking around. A lot of fun.
Great.
Great food.
Welcome
and
back.
wine. Oh, Maria got sick. But yeah, the rest of us were okay.
All right. That would have been a welcome back. Well, great. Any other happy bucks? All right, Mr. President. Well, I'll turn things over back to you. Thank you.
Thank you. I also wanted to say thank you to everybody who came out to the Change the Gavel event last week. It really was a lot of fun. It was a little too humid to be outdoors for cocktails, but we still had a great time indoors. And thank you for getting close and personal with your fellow Rotarians at the tables for dinner. On your way out, you were all invited to grab one of these, a magnetic car sticker. If you happen to have a car with a whole lot of plastic and it won't stick, you can put it on your refrigerator or your front door or wherever it will. And there's a pile of them over near the coffee, over on the side. Please help yourself on the way out. Yes, Doris. Yeah, just make sure you peel it off if anything happens. So thank you. And now, if I can introduce the speaker for the day, someone I've known for quite some time. I hold him in my highest esteem. I hope you will too. He's a little bit nervous at the moment because he's got his teacher here and his supervisor for the year. And so we're off. But before I begin, Mr. Secretary, do we have a quorum in the House? I can't even begin my talk without having new business for the club to attend to. Our own Bob Grady has tossed his hat in the ring for the position of District Governor 2025, 2026. Bob has been filling out a variety of forms and questionnaires, and in the stack is one item for Catalina Rotarians. In order to meet his application requirements, Bob needs to have the backing of his home club. So there is a resolution. I don't know if we can get it above I'll read it. Be it resolved that the Catalina Tucson Rotary Club at its regular meeting of Friday, July 8th, 2022, wholeheartedly supports and endorses member in good standing, past President and Assistant Governor Robert Grady as a candidate for District 5500 District Governor for Rotary year 2025-2026. Is there a second to the motion? Pat Egbert seconded the motion. Is there any further discussion? Not seeing any. I will call for a vote. All those in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Okay. Am I pointing there or there? There we go. This is the suspenseful part. Welcome to Rotary year 2022-2023. Today, I want to talk about what last year looked like and what I see for the year ahead. Our Rotary theme this year, as you have seen, is Imagine Rotary. As you look at the graphic for the year, you will see that it is 7 dots around a circle over a bar. What is this? The dots represent the 7 areas of focus for Rotary: disease prevention and treatment, water sanitation and hygiene, peace and conflict prevention and resolution, basic education and literacy, maternal and child health, growing local economies, and supporting the environment. The circle represents the circle of Rotary. The bar is patterned after an Aborigine digging tool, representing the work that lies ahead for us all. The graphic was designed with an eye to Jennifer Jones's International Convention, which will be held in Melbourne, Australia. The colors represent the colors of the women's suffrage around the world. This is the sign for Rotary that I grew up with. Actually, the Rotary word being pulled out to the left is only a few years old. I know about service above self. This has been around. But now comes people of action. I know we needed something that reflected that as we left our luncheon meetings, we did things. This was to be the core of a new marketing effort, and I guess we should expect to see this more and more. But we are Rotary. Are you confused at all? We are service above self. We are people of action. But every year we have a new president and they add their touch, their theme. This year is no different. You are going to see this graphic and theme a lot this year. You will hear the theme a lot this year. I hope you like it. Yes, we are Rotary. Yes, we have our wheel. And this year, Rotary President Jennifer Jones is challenging us to imagine Rotary, imagine new ways, imagine impractical ways, imagine Rotary in the ways that we can make a difference in our community, in our nation, in the world, and make it a better place. We are 1.4 million Rotarians worldwide. We are members of 219 countries and territories around the world. We are members of one of 530 Rotary districts. We belong to one of the 32,000 some Rotary clubs worldwide, where you should always be welcomed as a fellow member. But we are Rotary. We have districts, and districts have district governors. And this year's District 5500 governor is our own Anita McDonald. And she has her own theme. Although she confided to her presidents that she came up with her theme well before she learned of RI President Jennifer Jones's theme. And if she had known Imagine, she might not have come up with her own. Nah, she would have. So now we add inspire equals E to the third, empower, engage, enjoy. DG Anita, who I didn't think would be here today, is committed to empowering all of us and challenging us to reach out to others and bringing new members to our clubs that reflect the demographics of our community. DG Anita is asking us to engage with our community, with our fellow members, with the challenges that confront us. And DG Anita is asking us to enjoy being Catalina Rotarians and enjoy the work that lies ahead, which brings us, of course, to Catalina Rotary Club, where we have our areas, our prime area of focus as changing the lives of young people in need. We came to this several years ago, and our community projects have evolved around this focus. But this fits with what DG Anita is asking us all, and it fits well within President Jones's challenge to imagine all that we can do. But wait, we aren't yet finished. We also have a club president, and yes, you guessed it, even I have a theme. I want us to celebrate Tucson. So you have lived here for years or for months, but how well do you know Tucson? I hope to help bring you stories about Tucson that are designed, quite frankly, to put butts in seats. I want people to want to come to our Friday meetings. I want people to talk to their friends about what an interesting meeting they attended last week. If we are to grow our membership, we need to make our meetings engaging and enjoyable for all ages. We know about the needs of this community. We will certainly discuss these during the year, but we will not be a destination for future Rotarians if all we do is talk about the problems. And that brings us to the most important part of this Rotary pyramid, and that indeed is you. You are what it's all about. Why did you join Rotary? What do you want to do with your Rotary Club? How can we help you? Indeed, you are why we are here. You are very critical to everything we do. You are a Rotarian. You are a proud Rotarian. You are concerned with making Tucson a better place to live, to work, to enjoy, and to share. You want to make a difference. Let's do this together. So let's explore a little more. Intimidation is the act of inducing fear or awe, and intimidation can be Catalina Rotary Club. Catalina Rotary Club has been here since February 5th, 1948. I am the 74th president of the Catalina Rotary Club. Catalina Rotary Club has spawned 12 district governors, is home to 13 past district governors. And as you saw today, we have one more, we hope, on the way. As if that's not enough, we have at least 20 active members who are past Catalina Rotary Club presidents. That can be very intimidating. But it's also inspiring, and I am inspired. I have been very well trained. I was inspired at DG Anita's installation. I was inspired at our installation evening last week, and the smiles I received from all of you. And DG Anita made sure that we were all well trained in all things Rotary. I have been in my formal training since last September. So my primary goal for 22-23, don't screw things up. Been around 75, 74 years. Let's keep it going. But I am not here to do this myself. I am surrounded with a great team. I am only one piece of this fabulous club made up of a great group of officers and directors, and here they are. If you have any questions, you can contact me or any one of these fine fellow Catalina Rotarians. And even these people aren't all that will help you along your way this year. Here are our committee chairs and some of the committees. You will see some familiar names here. You will see some newer names here, and some who have served in familiar positions for some time, in some cases multiple years, have asked to step back from leadership positions, but are going to be very active in committee work. If you do not see your name here, please contact the committee chair and let them know of your interest and offer your services. I guarantee you, you will be welcomed with open arms. So let's get at it. Let's get down to the brass tacks. How did we do last year? And what do we think we can pull off this year? Let's start with membership. We have weathered COVID quite well. And I think it's interesting that I've gotten this far into the presentation without mentioning that word. Jimmy had aggressive goals for last year, and we brought in a number of new members. But we also had a member, Jerry Toll, who passed away, and Elise Jumblick, who moved away. And it appears that the Ansel Doulas went AWOL. So we brought in some great members, but we lost a few along the way. Jimmy's goal was to get back to 60. That's my goal as well. And I fully expect that we may need a great year to net 7 new members. But Jimmy and Pablo have some great ideas, and they can use our help. We have long prided ourselves as being the second club in Tucson, second oldest and second largest. Well, how do we compare to the district? Well, the undisputed leader in District 5500 is the Big Tucson Club, currently with 232 members. In second place is the Yuma Club, currently with 66 members. Then Sierra Vista comes in with 58 members, and yay, there's us at 53 active members. And then there's Saddlebrook, which has benefited from a huge influx of former Rotarians retiring there over the last 2 years. They now have 51 members, and they're nipping at our heels. So we have work to do. One thing I would like us to focus on is the average age of our members. We have a number of great members who have been members for years. In some cases, a lot of years. And for Catalina Rotary to thrive, we need these members and we need new members. We frankly need younger members. Think of the wealth of Rotary knowledge, of district knowledge, of Catalina Rotary knowledge, and of Tucson knowledge that can be passed on to new members. What you see here on the slide underscores just how difficult it can be to reduce the average age of club membership. The chart goes from 66 years old to 69 and a half years old. Yeah, you just gotta love statistics and what you can do with bar charts. My hope is to lower the average age from just over 69 to 67. And that will take a number of new members that are well below that age. It is something we need so that we can have somebody sitting up here 75 years from now talking about the 150th anniversary of the Catalina Rotary Club. Along the same lines, we are being challenged to better reflect the demographics of our community. One measure of this, collected at the RI level, is the gender split of the club. Rotary's goal is to get to 50% male, 50% female by 2024. According to President Jennifer, there are 30% of the clubs that have met that goal. So there's a long way for the 70% of us to get to. I would like to further narrow that gap. It takes work. One area where Catalina Rotary takes a back seat to no club is in the service we offer the community and the number of Catalina Rotarians that are involved. We have 53 active members with some rule of 85 members who have a hard time with physical projects. And oh yes, there was this pandemic that affected us the last few years. And yet, we have been at 80% of our members or more for the last 5 years. And I would like to sustain the performance that Jimmy helped us achieve last year, 88% participation. And I would be remiss if I did not make note of the impact our club has had on the Rotary International Annual Fund. We have been overachievers for years. I know that BJ Cordova will help us keep that record intact. And this is the Rotary International Annual Fund. I cannot begin to thank the members of this club for their generosity in supporting the Catalina Rotary Foundation, which is as strong as it has ever been. Thank you, one and all. So, what might we do this year? Well, some of our favorite projects will be back. Last year, we added Habitat for Humanity. Will Andrew O'Sullivan take us back there this year? Do you have some ideas for projects you would like to do? Call Andrew and join his committee. I know that last year, Barbara Kiernan sent out a questionnaire, and one overwhelming feedback was to address some issue in the Native American community. I know there are several members of the club who are currently working on project ideas, some local and some up in the state at the Grand Canyon. But again, that's part of our big local Arizona community. So just because you don't see a project on the list doesn't mean we won't tackle it or that we can't add it in. And there are some new projects or new twists on projects. Coming up shortly, we will be supporting DG Anita at her district conference, September 23 to the 25th at Casino del Sol, right here in the old Pueblo. By the way, registration is now open on the District 5500 website. I had it written. So I need to remember to register. This is going to be the 10th anniversary of our work with children in Tepewa. I don't know what Barbara Kiernan is planning, but I'm sure it will be interesting and engaging. And she'll have a spreadsheet we can all fill out. This is the third year of our racial justice projects. Last year, we delivered literally thousands of books to Erickson Elementary School. We received a district grant for $6,000 that allowed us to send a whopping $12,810 of books to a library that had not seen a new book in 5 years. I'm not sure what will happen this year. We have had a steep and stiff learning curve in dealing with TUSD and the University of Arizona. Please stay tuned. Audrey is trying to come up with some different routes into these organizations that might prove more fruitful than my efforts last year. And then there is our 75th anniversary. We will definitely be celebrating this, and Tom Robertson is taking the lead on these efforts. But this gives us a further impetus to undertake another big, audacious project. The board and the club members will be actively engaged in the selection process and in the project itself. Stay tuned for more information, but I was thinking of something catchy. Maybe 75 for 75, with one more good rodeo, with some more good thirsty Tucson rodeo patrons. We can fund a $75,000 project, maybe more. But 75 for 75 has a pretty good ring to it. So that brings us back to you. It is you that achieved all these goals over the last few years, and you that will help us get to this year's targets. It is you that make us want to work to find great projects and find inspiring programs and share our message with the community and broadcast this message far and wide. So whether you want to serve young people in need in our community, or you want to inspire and be inspired to serve and connect, or you want to imagine the amazing possibilities that Rotary offers worldwide, this is the place to start. And this is really all about what you want to do as a Rotary member. Thank you. And believe it or not, there's room for questions. Are there any? Yes, John. Last year, the Colo Guard golf tournament was the same weekend as rodeo. And so we felt we didn't have enough volunteers to cover both events. This year, there will be a difference in the dates. It will be a week back for the Colo Guard. I don't think they've made a determination if they want to try to do both. We cleared $42,000 plus last year from rodeo. And in a good year, including tips, we will get somewhere between 7,000 and 9,000 or so will net from the Colo Guard. So the question is, for the weekend, do we have enough volunteers who are willing to tee it up again? Will we be invited back by the conquistadors? That's a question mark. One of my concerns, quite frankly, is there is talk, and Bob Delaney is staying on top of it, as to whether, and Irv, I think, has been involved in this as well, as to whether the rodeo is going to go to either a token base for buying your beer, or if you're going to put it on a card. Last year, we took in $10,212 in tips. It's if you give somebody back 5 1s and a 5, they're very inclined to put 1 or 2 of those 1s in a tip jar, sometimes a 5. But if you're handing us a token, I'm not sure if you're going to put a token in the can, or reach into your wallet and pull out a 1. So that's a risk. We don't know where it's going to go yet. We're going to stay on top of it, but we could have a boffo year in beer sales, but not have a huge year in tips. And that's just something we have to. Yeah, and we have no control over that, but we will obviously bring that to the attention of those empowered. And I'd love to get, I don't remember her name right now. She came and talked to us in April when she handed us the check, but I'd love to have her come back in the fall. She wanted to expand rodeo. She wanted to add some new wrinkles. Hopefully that means thirsty individuals. And so, to the extent that we can garner some of that, maybe we offset some other things. So we'll just have to wait and see. And the water sales, we sold out. We probably could have, sold more, but we buy that water and then we turn around and sell it. So we would otherwise have been stuck with a whole lot of cases of water if things had gone bad. Yes, Tony.
Thank you, President Andy. This is not a question so much as an appeal to the club for some help in the Public Image Committee. As Andy mentioned earlier, we lost Elise Jumbalek last year due to family obligations, and she was our committee Instagram expert. In fact, she knew quite a bit about Instagram. Having somebody within our committee who's skilled in Instagram aligns very closely with President Andy's goal of lowering the average age of our membership, because people in Gen X and Gen Y use Instagram more than they use Facebook, like us old people. So if you have any Instagram skills, I'm asking for your help. Probably won't require more than about an hour a week of your time, but we could really use some help getting the club's messages out over Instagram. Secondarily, we could use some help in Twitter as well. If you're familiar with using Twitter, we could put you to work. So Instagram expertise, Twitter expertise. Say again, please. Yeah. Cool. Thank you, Pablo. Anybody else? Twitter's out there? All right. Well, you can reach out to me online, but yeah, for the most part, we'll create the content. We just need people to curate an Instagram site. Basically links to articles on the club website like we do on Facebook. Cool. Thank you.
Awesome. Any other questions, comments? Yes, Kirk.
Yeah, Andy, I got inspired today
Good.
by you.
Thank you.
Would you be willing to just mention for 20 or 30 seconds at most meetings some of the high points that you told us about today, so they'll still be fresh in our mind?
I will do so.
Because it was so good, we'll forget it if you don't do that.
Any other questions? Yes. Well,
Not a question, but a statement. I was meeting recently with DGE Don, who you all know from his shelter box presentations, and he is very interested in using some of the expertise from our club, i.e. Steve, in putting together a public service announcement about District 5500. So I would also encourage our PR group to use him and put together something for the 75th and for our club.
Yes, Jimmy.
So what kind of, so you mentioned Celebrate Tucson, Get to Know Tucson, and I imagine a lot of that's going to rely on the speakers that you hope to have this year. And I know the speakers committee or the program committee always needs help with finding folks. So are there some things that you would like to see as far as speakers go that maybe we can all keep an eye out for to recruit?
Yes, thank you, Jimmy. I'll be happy to send out my list. But we have the finest department of dendrochronology in the world at the University of Arizona. The things they have learned from reading tree rings, reflecting environment, reflecting the composition of the atmosphere, going back literally going back at least actually more than 6,000, because they figured out how to actually do this with fossilized wood. So they can go back literally millions of years. Fascinating. I'd like to know more about that. We had Dante Loretta here, I believe in 2018, when they launched this goofy little machine into space to go and tackle an asteroid called Bennu. And it went down and it landed on Bennu, and it scooped up a whole bunch of dust, and it is on its way home. And it is supposed to land September, I think, of 2023 in Utah. But now they said, you got a little juice left in the machine. Can you fly by this other asteroid and take some pictures? So it's on the way. That's all I know. I'd love to get somebody from his group back to talk to us about what's going on. There's a world-class mineralogy museum now in the old courthouse downtown. Fascinating place. What was this place like when it was a huge volcano before the mountain slid off the top of the Catalinas and slid to the other side? It was probably quieter. It was very noisy when it slid. What is there that the rocks can tell us? How fascinating is it that we live in this sort of an area? So there's a alderman, Steve Christie, I may have it wrong, Kosachik, who was very upset when the recycling changed and you couldn't recycle glass anymore. So he got started on recycling glass in Tucson to crush it up and use it as a building component of asphalt roads. Cool. How's that going? Is it being used? Is it still in test? Is it being rolled out? Those are some of the things. As you drive around town, you see these magnificent cactus. There's got to be somebody who can give us some really cool insights into cactus. So, you know, there's a wonderful wine area in Sonoyta. One of our favorite vineyards now, Rune Wines, is there. Most of their grapes come from Wilcox, but they, you know, squish them and bottle them down in Sonoyta. Why did they go to Sonoyta? Why did Sonoyta Vineyards begin 25 years ago? And it was begun by a geology professor at U of A. Very interesting. I'd love to be able to get one of our coaches in here from any one of the teams. They tend to go to that other club in Tucson. But I'd like to get some that would be willing to come here. There's a lot for us to talk about. And of course, there's a brand new book on the Loop, America's #1 recreation area, atlas and guidebook. And maybe the author would like to come and talk to us. So there's all this sort of stuff. Pablo.
Just at the same topic that Jimmy's asking, I think I brought this up to you before, but what about local business owners?
We will have a local business owner August 19th. That leaves us room for about 40 more.
I know the owner, like a Crooked Tooth Brewery, who probably will love to come here and talk about the process of how they do their brewery, because that's a
samples.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's the thing, but they're pretty unique because they do everything. I think it's like gluten free, but it's like a whole different process of sour beers. Yeah, it's beer. But yeah, things like that. I mean, yeah. So
oddly enough, on August 19th, it's the owner of the Tucson Hop Shop. Okay. And on August 25th, we're going to have our social at the Tucson Hop Shop.
Well, President Andy, you are certainly one of the top or the top graduate of the president-elects, I must say. Your presentation was just absolutely superb, and you've set a bar in terms of what I'm going to be looking for at other clubs when I go. One of the areas that I was hoping that this club could help the district begin to address is around Rotaract. And you mentioned, you know, trying to deal with the age, and I'm sure you've heard Jennifer talk about, you know, we want people who think young. And as I listen to you all, and we're worried about the beer and wherever we're going to go and the loops and everything else, this is a young thinking club. And so we could attract young people by age as well. And, you know, Rotaractors are Rotarians, and they have so much to share with us, but we have so much to share with them. And so I would hope that as we kind of move forward, that we could find some way and some, oh, I don't know, strategy, bottle it, and so I can take it around to share with the other clubs and get Rotaract growing again in this area, because there are some young people, you know, with all the industries and things that are coming in and the new businesses and so forth. We have some real opportunities here, I think, that we need to take advantage of. So thank you.
Thank you. Well, I would like to, yes. Thank you. Could I get the screen back, please? Yes. As you noticed when you came in, at your water glass was your pin for this year's theme. If you didn't get one, I'll give you, I have extras. Be very happy to give them out. It really is a great theme, and it'll be fun for us to be able to do different spins on it all year. So without further ado, if you would all please rise and join me in the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Is it one? Is it the truth? 2, is it fair to all concerned? 3, will it build goodwill and better friendships? 4, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you. Thank you. No small